Hello and welcome, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. So good to see you and thanks for joining me. If you're new here, welcome. If reflexology is something that you're into, I do my best to try and support your walk through this life with reflexology tips and tricks. So if reflexology is something that you're into, this might be a channel to subscribe to. And you just hit that subscribe button, and also if you hit that little bell icon, that will notify you when I have new videos coming out. I wanted to share with you today a really cool technique, just an easy way to get the client down and up off the table so that you can do your work with ease, and also the client can be way more comfortable. So I just got back from visiting my parents, and they had just gotten back from, down south. They were away for the winter. And on their way home, they drove down this time, and on their way home, right at the beginning of the trip, it takes about 3 or 4 days to get back home, my mom had taken a little bit of a fall. And a little bit of a fall is not... It was a big fall. And she ended up going to the hospital and finding out that she had sprained both of her knees. And so you can imagine them trying to come home and not being able to basically walk, right? So getting in and out of the truck was a huge job. When we saw her, she was, bruised and battered and, beat up basically, from getting in and out of the truck just to go to the washroom and go to the hotel room, just on their journey back home, right? She ended up hurting her ribs as well. So, breathing and mobility was just a huge struggle for her. And why I'm sharing this with you is because, we get a lot of clients in reflexology that their mobility is quite down. So I want to share with you this cool way that I learned of getting clients sort of down and up out of their reflexology table. So that's what I want to share with you today, and I hope this helps. So let's go take a look at how to do that. Okay, so all you're going to do is get the client to come right to the edge of the bed like this and not get fully on. They want to be just on the edge, so they're kind of leaning but just sitting, right? Then what you want to make sure to do is kind of cross their arms so that the arms don't get in the way when you're doing this technique. One arm's going to come across this way, so you're supporting the back of the neck here and also holding the shoulder. The main point that you want to be really, to make this whole thing work, is make sure that your hips are connecting, okay? So that this is where the pivot happens, because you're going to be basically pivoting down towards the pillow here. That's where the goal is. It's going to go from the head down to the pillow here. And so it's going to be a nice sweeping motion here. And you're going to let gravity do most of the work here. But make sure that the pivot happens all together and you move your whole body together. You don't try and pull one arm or anything like that. So once you do this a couple times, it'll be, you'll get the hang of it, how it feels, and all that. So anyway, I'll just show you how it goes. So one arm across here. The other one is going to scoop the knees and behind the legs, okay? And then all you're going to do is just simply pivot and then up. There they go there. And then you could put pillows underneath their legs, for the session, just set up that way. So to reverse this, so for example, if the legs are down like that, and probably during the session you would ask the client to sort of get a little bit more centered. Right now she's a little bit off center. You can't see from this camera angle, but she's a little bit, closer to the edge, which is where you want her when you want to bring her back up again. So I would ask the client to scooch over so that their hip is fairly close to the end. So can I just get you to just yeah, right there. And so I'd like to get it in line with the edge of the table here. I'm going to lift the knees so you get a nice bend. Again, the arms are in perfect position right now. You get under her neck, okay, because you want to support her head and neck. And I do that by holding on to the shoulder. Then you're going to attach, in this case, my right hip onto her right hip. And then I'm going to wrap my arms around this way. And it's the reverse. So basically this way you're just going to hook your hips and then just a nice little swivel off. So you're going to lift the legs off and then swivel up. So it looks like this. Okay? And it's very easy to do. Some clients will feel a little bit dizzy after, so I like to just rub from the back of the ear down the sides. Okay, and then that way, it's nice and comfortable. And then they're right at the edge of the table where we started, right? So practice this a couple times, get familiar with it, and it will become very easy for yourself and also the client. And different, heights and, different people, that would be great to practice with, because then it will give you an idea of how you have to spread your body and stuff like that. But really, the key to all this is hugging the hip and using this part as the pivot and going up and down, right? And not trying to put too much force on your muscles, but using your hip action as a turn, right? So just think of your hips as the hinge in a door, and it's basically you're opening and lifting back up again, right? So happy to share this technique with you because it's been really great in my practice. There's been a couple times where, I've had 97-year-old client come by, and having the option, I usually do reflexology in a La Fuma chair, but having the option of a massage table I feel so grateful that I own one, because for those times when the client is a little less mobile, it really can help, because you can adjust the table up and down, and then also so they can back in and sit comfortably, and then you can do that technique, right? Just make sure, again, that you have really good biomechanics when you're moving, so you're not bending your back too much, right? Because if you do it properly, everything stays straight, right? And the client comfortably goes down and comfortably comes up, and that's most important to do that. And another little trick too, that because it's quite a fast motion for the client to get up, it's really good to rub the back of the head from behind the ear just down their back. Okay, I'll just turn around here so you can see, but just rub down here from behind their ear, right? And you can do it on both sides of their body, right? If you want. I prefer to do it on one side and then the other. And what this does is it sort of calms down and helps out the vagus nerve, helps the client not feel so dizzy, because if you've been laying down for a while and then you suddenly get up, right? It can be a bit of a shock to the system. You feel a little bit lightheaded and dizzy. So this kind of just grounds it and helps the flow get back, help your body get back into the flow of things. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you have any tips and tricks about how you get clients in and out of the place that you work, so if you work on a chair or if you work on a massage table, I'd love to hear them. So there's my tip for you. Try it out, see how it works for you. I would recommend practicing it a lot so you can get quite comfortable with it, so that you're not fumbling around when you do have a client, right? So it only takes a couple times to practice. It's quite an easy technique, but to get it proper, movement and all that can take a little bit of practice. So, just practice with somebody that's willing. And yeah, hope that helps. Until next time, this is Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch Reflexology. Keep those feet happy. Bye-bye. Let me know what you thought of this video by leaving a comment below. Any type of feedback can be useful. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. And if you found it useful, feel free to share it with anybody who might be interested. Make sure that you have subscribed to this channel if you haven't already. And make sure that you hit, or better yet, step on that bell icon so you know when the next video is coming up. And if you have some more time, why don't you check out some other videos. Till next time, this is Adam Thomas from balancingtouch.ca.